This is Open for Business on Enterprise. Good morning, and I'm Angeline Tay. And today, we have the main founder of Bridgit with us today. His name is Suntar Raj. Bridgit is a company that offers project management services to fill in the vacuum of lack of professionalism in this area. Founded in year 2000, Bridgit now has presence in Indonesia, Singapore, Thailand, Myanmar, Brunei, and Sri Lanka. So what exactly does Bridgit do?
Bridgit is an organization very much focused in the arena of project management. So what we do is in the area of developing people in project management. We provide training services. We also provide consulting in the areas of outsourcing project management skills. And we also provide some technical services like helping organizations to implement the enterprise project management softwares. We also help organizations to develop processes. One of the major things we are doing today is also to do assessment of an organization's competency in the area of project management maturity.
Okay, so does the assessment of maturity important?
Yes. In fact, organizations have started realizing, especially the publicly listed organizations, some of them have started realizing that project management is an important issue, and they are reanalyzing the competency within the organization in project management. We want to see what's the maturity level of the organization like in project management, and that's when they get us to come in and do an assessment and see at which level they are. We follow a guideline from the institute called Project Management Institute, PMI. They have standards. They are actually a standards body who come out with what you call different techniques of assessment. So we apply techniques from Project Management Institute, the framework, to do an assessment. Okay, organizations have started realizing that their skills in their project managers are not sufficient, and especially with delayed projects out there, budget overrun projects out there. So there's some concern that people have started realizing that the expertise of project management is lacking. So what we do is we go in, they identify, by the way, the organizations will identify a group of people to be assessed. We advise them. In fact, we go in and first advise them who they should select for the assessment.
Is there such thing that anybody can be a project manager?
Yeah, honestly, not anybody can be a project manager. I think there's a lot of fallacy out there that anybody can become a project manager. Firstly, it's a manager's role, a project manager. To be a good manager, you need to have certain skills. And on the contrary, a good manager shouldn't have just management skills, but also some leadership skills. So a person with good management leadership skills should be able to handle any project. But once again, there's a different school of thought where some say if he is a good construction project manager, can we use him for another project which is completely non-construction
different industry,
IT or whatever,
yeah.
But it may not work because understanding of the subject matter is also important. Understanding of the business aspect of the project is also important. So if the project manager doesn't have enough knowledge of the, say, IT, and he's from a construction environment, he may be taken for a ride by his project team or so. So he should have at least a superficial understanding of the subject matter, or rather we call it the business knowledge.
So you were saying that different cultures or different countries has different ways of doing project management, and in Malaysia, so what kind of gaps that you and your team have identified?
Gaps may vary from country to country, but firstly, when we do an assessment in organization, we look for the gaps. What gaps here could mean, do people have the right skills in the first place? What is the expected of a project manager? So we look at the gaps, where what is missing in the existing group of people, and then we propose to the organization that these are the areas of gaps and you need to do something to fulfill that gaps.
Is there any like a common gap?
Yeah, common gap, you mean in terms of?
Based on the assessment that you have done so far.
Common gap is basically what we notice is project managers in many organizations are not so conscious of cost management. And another common gap we have noticed is there are no processes in place. There may be lots of processes in an organization, how to run the company, and there may be processes how to make sure quality is delivered and such. But when it comes to project management processes, then many of them do not have those processes in place.
And the name of your company is Bridgit, Bridgit.
Yes.
So, is it IT industry, or is there a reason behind naming it?
It's not Bridget Bardot. Probably only the senior citizens would know who's Bridget Bardot, but it's Bridget. It's a sexy name,
okay,
in a sense. But Bridget stands for Bridge It. So what it means is The idea was here is we go and identify what are the needs out there in the organizations, look for the gaps, and we say we come there and we'll try and bridge those gaps.
Right.
So that's what we mean by Bridge It.
Okay. I've been speaking with Suntar Raj. He is the main founder of Bridge It, a company that offers project management services. So we'll talk about how the Malaysian market is accepting these services. BFM 89.9. You're listening to Open for Business on Enterprise, and I'm Angeline Tay. In case you've just joined us, I'm with Suntar Raj. He is the main founder of Bridge It, a company that offers project management services and solutions. So we were talking about you were providing solutions for the gaps that the companies are facing. But when you first started off, is it tough to enter the market in Malaysia?
It's a good question, Angela. When we started the business in 2000, we actually actively started in 2001, although we established the company in 2000. We had a tough time. For the first 5 years, I had a tough time to get clients or other business organizations to understand the importance of project management and also to pay for such services. Okay, very often people have been under the impression that project management should come as part and parcel of a solution. If they order a system or so, project management comes free. That's the way the perception was out there. It took some time to educate out the public there that project management is crucial. It's an important element in implementing strategies within an organization. As we moved on, we realized there was a lot of work we had to do, and the government themselves found that they have to beef up their project management skills. Especially one organization realized that this was an important thing to do is MDEC, the Multimedia Development Super Corridor. MDEC came up with an initiative to provide grants for project managers in the MSc companies to get themselves certified. One of the ways they thought is if the project managers get themselves certified, they will make an effort to improve their project management skills. So they will be improving their skills, basically. And that was one of the successful things done in the IT area.
When was this, though? Is this what inspired Bridge It as well to...
No, this came along as Bridge It was already...
Set up.
This came about 7 years ago. The initiatives came about 7 years ago.
So Bridge It's business model basically is by consulting and offering services as well as giving training workshops.
Yes.
So I heard that late October there's this green project management happen in MCorp Mall. So what is that about?
Green project management training. Okay, see, we are a global registered education provider for Project Management Institute. We have been with them for more than 10 over years. All of our trainings have been certified by PMI. We need to present to them our training materials, and they will approve it. They will approve it before we can conduct our trainings. PMI handles all the project management, standard project management frameworks. Recently, we decided to go a bit further because the future is to look at sustainability. Green. That's correct.
Yeah.
Green. So we came across another institute which was offering another standards body, offering sustainability was built into the green project management. So we tied up with that organization to also provide different certification programs and training. So what happened during this period of time in October is a training on green project management, the first training here, and it's been quite well received. We had about 20 people who attended the training from various organizations, and a big support we are getting today is from the organization called GreenTech. GreenTech happens to be the implementation arm of the KETA, Ministry of Energy, Green, and Ministry of Green Technology and Energy.
But opening a project management services company, is it very competitive right now in the market?
Yeah. When we started it, there was not many people out there. In fact, I don't remember having a competitor for purely. Of course, there are project management consultants out there providing services. In terms of very focused in the area of training and some solutions, we were one of the first who came out with an organization. Today, it is competitive out there, especially in the area of training. So we have to always look for the next wave.
Which is the green.
Right. So that doesn't mean that the standard project management training is not there anymore.
Yeah.
Because there's still big gap in the country, or the countries all around the ASEAN region, for implementing better bespoke project management in their organizations.
What are the main industries that approach you for these services that you offer?
Any organization for the matter, but the main organizations would be corporates who implement projects. Government initiatives are, at the end of the day, when you implement an initiative, it is actually a project. So the government, in terms of other industries, oil and gas, construction, banking and finance, insurance, almost every other industry. Any industry has got a project to implement.
Okay.
they do get involved.
Yeah, and also on your website it states there's a simulation-based training. How does this work?
Okay, that's another thing which is very unique, which has helped us to move for all these years. We franchised a simulation software back from South Africa. I was in a conference many years ago in Holland, and I came across the software. It is a simulation software which simulates a project, a 24-week project, where what we do is when we train, participants get involved in implementing this project through a simulation exercise. It's a PC-based simulation software. A group of them get together, they implement a project. There's a case study given to them, they start implementing it, and the simulator throws out issues and problems, and the participants have to try and solve the problems. So we call this a skill-based training because it's just not a knowledge-based training, because as they get involved in the simulator, they experience real-life sort of issues and problems, and if they don't handle it correctly, they don't get the right solution, they get another secondary problem. So until they get it solved.
Snowballed and...
Snowballed effect, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
it's an exciting training where a lot of people tend to enjoy it because it's fun-based.
So what's ahead for Bridget?
We are going further in expanding our solutions. We've been focusing a bit more on training and implementation of processes and such. So we're going further in the area of growing the assessment business, and we're also going out of the country further. In fact, we already have some presence in the other countries. We want to further expand the presence in those countries. And we're also looking at some other Indo-China countries like Vietnam, Laos and such.
Thank you for sharing, and it's been a pleasure speaking with you. So I've been speaking with Suntar Raj. He is the main founder of the Bridget, and this is BFM 89.9.
Thank you for listening to this podcast. To find more great interviews, go to bfm.my or find us on iTunes. BFM 89.9, the business station.